All right, welcome everybody to our second day in our course for the City of Ashland. I'm Sabrina Cotta, I'm the city manager for our new folks here today. I am being joined by some of our great staff from our Ashland Fiber Network, as well as our GIS team. So we are going to go through, introduce them, and they are going to take it away. And I will be back to help facilitate questions at the end. So very similar to the first day, they'll run through the presentations they have. There will be some demonstrations of some of the great things we have here at the city. And then the back half of the course will be for you all to ask questions. Just as a note, we are recording this and we are putting it up on our website after. We are editing what we're putting on our website to remove the Q&A. We want everyone to feel comfortable asking questions. So feel free to ask your questions. It won't be up on our website. There are no stupid questions. So just so everyone feels comfortable, wanted to note that. So today we have Chad Sabatka, sorry, Chad, who is our AFN manager. He's going to talk about AFN today. We also have Leah Richards, our GIS manager, and her team, Jamie and Ricky, are here, which is great. And they are going to talk about GIS. We also have some other city staff. Carrick is here again with me today, and Ryan Stowetzer, our IT manager, is lurking as well today. So we have some additional staff in the crowd, so to speak. With that, just a reminder, if you can turn your video on, it's nice to speak to a face and not a blank screen. So we appreciate all of you who have done that. You can share in your chat your name and your neighborhood so we can get to know each other. I'll monitor that once this gets going. If we can keep muted during the presentations, that will help feedback for us here on Zoom. And if you have technical difficulties, feel free to reach out on chat or call this number and we'll try to accommodate you throughout the course. So with that, Chad, I'm going to hand it over for you to drive and take us through AFN.
All right, can everyone hear me okay? All right, excellent. So my name is Chad Sabatka, and I'm the operations manager for the Ashland Fiber Network. Today, you'll be learning about AFN. You'll meet the staff, find out what AFN is, and what value we bring to the community. So who is AFN? There are 7 team members that keep AFN up and running. Some of us work on both the internal city network as well as the AFN network. The 3 field techs are responsible for the outside plant, which is everything from the outside of the building where I work all the way to inside the customer's house. They perform installs for new internet service and troubleshooting customer problems. They handle construction projects, fiber splicing, and troubleshooting the outside plant. We have 2 junior network engineers who work on the AFN network and the internal city network. Recently, they have been writing a program that integrates our new fiber services with our billing program. In addition to AFN duties, they also maintain the security of the internal city network and much more. We have 1 customer service tech who answers the phone, troubleshoots problems, and schedules service calls and installations. Oftentimes, he's the first point of contact for our customers. I am the operations manager. I handle project management, oversee procurement and contracts, make sure our switches and routers are working, and I research new technologies to implement. 2024 was my 18th year working at the city. I moved to Ashland in 1997 to attend SOU. My sister moved here in 1993 and is a math professor at SOU. My parents retired in Ashland in 2006 and are active in OLLI. On the weekends, you can find me hiking in the hills above Ashland with my camera. I am an avid photographer and love to travel. Dina is our lead field tech. She has worked at the city for 25 years, which is almost as long as AFN has been around. Prior to working at the city, she was in the Air Force for 4 years. She enjoys hiking, photography, metal detecting, and rock hounding. Most people in Ashland know Dina. She's our rock star. Esteban is one of our junior network engineers. He was recently promoted from customer support technician. He has been with the city for 6 years. His first job out of high school was as a wildland firefighter for the USDA Forest Service. He's also played bass guitar for 2 Nashville recording artists. He has worked in the IT industry for 13 years and moved to the area 6 years ago from Brookings. Nick is unfortunately out of town, so he missed our group photograph. That's when we realized none of us have a photo of him, so this picture of Chris Hemsworth will have to do. Nick has been with the city for 4 years. He graduated from Rogue River High School and spent 5 years in the U.S. Navy. He lives in Eagle Point with his wife and 2 sons. He works the weekend shift at AFN, which is Saturday through Tuesday, and is one of our field techs. Colton is our 3rd field tech and is a true local. He was born in Ashland and graduated from Ashland High. He is an avid mountain biker who has been known to ride his bike to work from Sam's Valley, and he likes to hit the trails after work. He has 7 years experience in the telecom industry. He has installed fiber all over Oregon and Northern California. James is our customer service tech. He just passed his 1-year milestone with us. He grew up in Portland, spent a few teen years in Colorado, and moved to the Valley 3 years ago. James elected not to have a photo in the presentation, but I feel this image of Ed Sheeran accurately represents him. Edgar is our latest team member. He has worked at AFN for only 5 months. He is also the most recent to move to Oregon. He spent 11 years in the Navy and has circumnavigated the globe. He enjoys surfing, video games, and all things tech. He and his wife have a 3-year-old dog that is always getting into trouble. So now that you have met the AFN staff, let's meet the network that we maintain. AFN was built in the 90s under the electric department. They started running fiber to their facilities. City leadership decided to expand that network, and AFN was born. The earliest business plan that I've been able to find is from 1998. The network was constructed in 1999, and our first cable modem customer was around 2000. We are unique because customers can connect directly with the city, and your internet bill appears alongside your electric, water, and wastewater bill. You can also connect through one of our partner ISPs like Ashland HomeNet. They offer extended support hours and other services such as telephone service. I describe AFN as the physical plant that consists of more than 75 miles of fiber and 125 miles of coax. There are 2 144 count rings of fiber that circle Ashland. The red lines show where our fiber is located. Nearly all of the fiber is terminated in the building where I work, which is the yellow house icon. The network that the cable modem customers connect to is called a hybrid fiber coaxial network, commonly referred to as HFC. This technology is fiber to the node. This type of network consists of a lot of moving parts. Each node is comprised of one physical node, one power supply, and many mini bridgers, line extenders, taps, and splitters. This technology uses radio frequency, which is commonly referred to as RF. It is susceptible to interference and is considered a legacy technology. As I mentioned in the last slide, HFC networks are fiber to the node. There are 38 nodes in Ashland. Each colored space is a node, and each node has on average around 100 cable modem customers. There are a total of 300 homes and businesses per node. The original system designed for AFN was to use fewer nodes. That is the reason why some of the nodes use letters like nodes 2A, 2B, and 2C. Those were originally one large node before they finalized the design and split them apart. This slide shows the field equipment. I used a dollar bill for scale, so all photos should roughly be the same scale. Node describes both a location, like you saw in the last slide, and a physical piece of equipment, which you see on this slide. Fiber is run to the node, where it is converted into coax. Each node has 4 legs, and each leg can have up to 4 mini bridgers and 3 line extenders. The mini bridger amplifies and splits the RF signal. The line extender only amplifies the RF signal. And the mainline splitter splits the RF signal, but does not amplify it. The power supply provides 90-volt DC power to the entire node. The node, mini bridger, and line extender all require power. The job of the tap is to connect customers to the HFC network. You will find a tap at nearly every utility pole. It has the important job of blocking the electricity on the coax line going to the home. This equipment is usually up on the utility poles, so the next time you go for a walk, look up. This diagram shows what a typical node looks like. 2 strands of fiber are connected to the node, and there are 4 coax outputs. The RF signal passes through mini bridgers, splitters, line extenders, and taps to reach the customer. When the field techs troubleshoot plant issues, they need to verify each piece of equipment until they find the problem, which can be time-consuming. They use a special meter, which allows them to see the RF signal. The RF signal is visible in the image on the right side of this slide. Each color represents something different, such as ingress noise, max power, and current RF signal. The section on the left side of the display is ingress noise, and the section of the right side is cable modem data traffic. The top photo is a node in the field. You can see the 4 legs coming out of it. Legs 2 and 4 have a mainline splitter directly connected to them. The fiber module is barely visible in the top photo, but you can see it in the bottom image. There are 2 fiber cables for each node, one for upload and the other for download. They plug into the green sockets circled in white. We have begun our transition away from the HFC network and into a 100% fiber network. This technology is called PON, or Passive Optical Network. These networks require very little power. Because of this, they are more reliable and support greater speeds. Today on our PON network, we offer a maximum download speed of 2.5 gigabits per second, but in the future, we will be able to support speeds up to 40 gigabit and beyond. There are basically 3 parts to a PON network: the power supply, the fiber OLT, and the optical splitter. We use the same power supply for the PON network as we do the HFC network. On a PON network, we only power a single device, the fiber OLT. Fiber comes out of the OLT and connects to the splice case, of which there are many in each node. Each splice case contains at least 1 optical splitter. This is the diagram for half of a PON node. Near the top of the diagram, there are 4 legs colored in blue, orange, green, and brown. You will see what the physical device looks like in the next slide. The 4 legs are connected to the optical splitters, which are the yellow triangles. The colored triangles inside the circles are more optical splitters which the customers connect to. This slide shows what the inside of the fiber OLT looks like. Just like the HFC node, this device has 4 active legs, which are labeled fiber to the customer. There are 4 empty slots, so this device supports up to 8 legs. The optical splitter is so special, it gets 2 slides. This is the magic of why PON networks are so reliable and why they support such fast speeds. The splitter is very small, much smaller than even a stick of gum. They are also inexpensive. Because they do not generate heat, require electricity, or have moving parts, there is nothing that wears out over time. Unless they are dropped from a great height or smashed with a hammer, they should last a couple lifetimes. This splitter is a 1x12. The common leg, or input leg, is in white on the left side. Splitters usually come in multiples of 2, so 1x2, 1x4, 1x8, all the way up to 1x32. Their job is to split light, which means they are not susceptible to interference like an HFC plant. In this image, I am using a tool called a visual fault locator, or VFL, to send a visible light through the common leg of the optical splitter. As you can see, the light is now coming out all 12 legs of the splitter. AFN's goals are to bring value to the community by providing an internet service that is high quality and reliable. We offer competitive pricing and speed compared with other providers in Ashland. We have an assistance program for those in need. Our goal is to ensure everyone has access to the internet. We are also reducing our carbon footprint. Upgrading to the PON network greatly reduces our electricity consumption. AFN is good for Ashland. We provide competition. Most communities only have a single high-speed internet provider. We were one of the first municipal internet providers in the country, but now there are more than 750. As you can tell from our staff bios, we are 100% local to the Rogue Valley. Because we are municipal owned and operated, we are held accountable to the public. You elect the city council and mayor, and they provide guidance to us. Customer service is our top priority. We also save the community a lot of money each year. We provide a fiber connection to every building the city owns, including many utility buildings used by the water, wastewater, and electric departments. We do the same thing for the school district. Every one of their buildings is connected to our fiber network. We provide them with rack space in our facility, and they connect to the internet over redundant 10 gigabit network links. We provide 48 strands of fiber to the city and 17 strands of fiber to the school district. In a large metro area, even in Medford, service providers may charge $1,000 per month or more for each connection. We estimate the cost savings for the community to be around $900,000 to $1.3 million per year. And that concludes my presentation. Before GIS gives their presentation, and because you are a captive audience, I will give you a 30-second sales pitch. If you are an AFN customer, thank you for supporting the option that supports the community. If you aren't a customer and would like to make the switch, please call us at 541-552-2222. Finally, we just started to offer home routers to our customers. They allow us to troubleshoot internet connections much faster. They also have a lot of features like antivirus and parental controls. If you'd like more information, give us a call.
All right, thank you, Chad. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to GIS. So save your questions for AFN. I'm sure you have some, and then we'll do questions for both teams at the end. So I'm going to hand it over to Jamie or Ricky, I believe.
Hi, Sabrina, this is Leah. I'm going to talk for a couple minutes,
All right,
but Jamie's going to do our PowerPoint. Is it possible to do that? Yes, it is. Wonderful. Hello, everybody. Again, we'll just review the instructions just to continue to keep your audio muted. Thank you. And keep your video on because we love to see your faces. And we will open it up to questions at the very end. So we are the GIS division at the City of Ashland. We have been around at the city since, I think the business plan that I found was also 1998, so similar to AFN. I started in 2004, so I'm coming up on my 20-year anniversary next month. Go ahead. One more, thank you. So the agenda today, we're going to go through a brief introduction of a couple of our staff members. It's not as extensive and as lovely as Chad's was, but we will talk to you about what GIS stands for and what it is, how it works, and how the city uses it. We'll briefly touch on asset management and why that's important. And then we'll get into some fun things like web apps and dashboards, online surveys, story maps, our drone, and then our new GIS website. So for an introduction, our GIS team consists of me, Leah. I'm the manager now. I have been in the management position for a couple of years, but I've been with the city in the GIS program since 2004. Ricky is our senior GIS analyst. And we have Tana. We don't have a picture of Tana on here, but she is our asset management. One fun thing about me is that I have lived in Ashland for a long time, 35 years, and I'm a graduate from the SOU geography program. And I love to travel. And recently I got to travel to Europe and went and explored Prague, Vienna, and a little bit of time in Reykjavik as well. And that picture of me and my daughter on the top screen is us in Prague at the Clementinium, which is a beautiful observatory. The second picture is Ricky, and he's been with us for 11 years, and he is a graduate from Oregon State University. Tana is not joining us today, but she's our asset management and CMMS analyst, and she has been in the GIS program for 4 years in asset management, but she has been with the city longer. She came to us from, she was in, I think, utility billing initially and finance. She moved over to public works for a while and worked on the front counter, and then she joined our GIS team. And then Jamie's going to take it over from here.
If I unmute myself. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. So I'm Jamie Blankenship, and I used to be a bird biologist or ornithologist. Not everyone knows that, so that's why I use bird biologist. My big year, which is some enthusiasts like to get as many birds as they can in a year, and mine was 425. And that was me just traveling all over the United States, getting shipped everywhere to do surveys. And that was in North America. And so that's my fun fact about me. And then I just graduated last year from Oregon Tech in geomatics and have been working here for almost a year and a half. And so I'm going to start us out with our presentation, and I'm going to quickly go over what is GIS and how it works. So GIS stands for Geographic Information System. And it's a computer system for capturing, storing, checking, and displaying data related to positions on Earth's surface. GIS can show many different kinds of data on one map, such as streets, buildings, fire hydrants, and vegetation. This enables people to more easily see, analyze, and understand patterns and relationships. Okay. So what is GIS and how does it work? The 4 main ideas. Number 1 is it creates geographic data. GIS integrates many different kinds of data layers using spatial location. Most data has a geographic component. GIS includes imagery, features, and base maps linked on spreadsheets and tables. And number 2, manage it in a database. So this includes organizing, storing, retrieving, and maintaining geographic and attribute data. 3, analyze and find patterns. So we use geoprocessing tools, which we have over 200 kinds in our toolbox, and a couple of them are that I think are pretty cool are the least cost path analysis, which you can use. So let's say you want to develop a road on a slope and you want to find the cheapest route possible, you can use that tool. There's buffers around features. So let's say you have a construction zone on your street and the city needs to contact every house within a 200 feet area, and we need to grab your addresses and send you a mailing about it, then we use that tool. Data conversion. So we convert Google data to CAD or GPS in Excel. And then we have raster processing, which takes satellite imagery and extracts information such as water moisture within soils. And then feature selection. So let's say you have a fire hydrant and you want to find all the fire hydrants within 100 feet radius of a building. You can use feature selection. And then display it on a map. That's kind of what everyone is commonly know what GIS is making maps. So we display it on a map. We visualize data geographically instead of as tables. You can do heat maps, which is often used for crime or traffic density. Choropath maps for socioeconomic indicators, and topos are kind of what your standard maps that feature the shape of the land, location, and elevations, trail maps and road maps. Because viewing and analyzing data and maps impacts our understanding of GIS, we can better make decisions by using GIS. It helps us understand what is where. The analysis becomes simple, answers become clear. GIS uses all the components in this image, but we will focus now on data. Vector data, so the two types are vector and raster. Vector is kind of your points, lines, and polygons. Your points being fire hydrants or a tree. Your lines being streams, and your polygons can be an area of a park. And so each of these can have an attribute table. And this is kind of where it makes the data really valuable, is the more data you have within your data, the better it is. And so let's say you have a river. This is the Mississippi River. You can add that in your data and the length, or you can calculate out the length and then the type of river it is. And then we have your rasters. Your rasters are a set of cells arranged in rows and columns. Each cell has a value that is representing some type of characteristic or location, such as temperature, digital elevation models, or precipitation. Rasters are commonly used for representing or managing imagery. As you can see, the solar potential imagery, that's they use algorithms to best determine where your solar panels should go. Your GIS department finds, creates, and manages data, then puts it into visual maps and applications for people to easier understand.
I will be talking about our asset management for the city. We have mapped all of our storm drains, sewers, electrical, and water. This is used mostly by the Public Works Department to look at where all our features are and if we have problems. We can put it all on a map, and then also we use a asset management program called Cartograph. And this allows us to assess every time we touch a feature. So every time we have to go do an inspection on a hydrant or fix a hydrant or anything like that, we can use that data for budgeting purposes. So later we can say, oh, if we want to install 50 new hydrants, it's going to cost about this much. We can also use it for analytics, seeing how long until our the average lifespan of a hydrant is, and say, oh, we should probably look into replacing this one in the next budget cycle because it's been around for 20 years and the other ones last about that long, or whatever it happens to be. This map on the screen just kind of shows an example of most of our utilities throughout town. As you can look, it's all over. We have data everywhere for our asset management. Next, we're going to go into, I think it's web applications. Yes. So this is probably what you mostly think of when you think of the city's GIS, or hopefully. This is our some of our public facing web applications. They're just digital maps that you can find online, where you can pan around, click on features, and get information. The first one we have here is our wildlife reporter. This one allows you to, if you see a bear, aggressive deer, cougar, or anything, you can add it to the map, and once you submit it, it will send an email to ODF and W and to the police department, so that they can monitor situations or see if there's a problem animal. The next one is our planning web application. This one here is most used by our planning department, ComDev, community development people. You can go to any of the tax lots within the city, look up the zoning, you can look up the owner, acreage, you can get map and tax lot information, address. It's our one-two stop for a bunch of development information. And then the last example we have here is our Know Your Zone. Hopefully all of you have been to this website and found your address and printed out your evacuation zone. So this was put together with Kelly, which I think you guys saw last time. But yeah, we encourage you definitely to download your zone and pin it up somewhere. So those are 3 of our popular web applications that the citizens use. Next, we're going to talk about dashboards. Dashboards are not necessarily, I mean, they use the same data, but they're not always a map displayed. Our first one here is our water usage dashboard. And this one allows you, as you can see, there's no map, but it allows us to pull in all the data and create graphics off of it. This is updated every day around noon by our water treatment plant operators. And we can see read a reservoir's water level is at. We can look at temperature at the plant. We can look at how much rain we have or how much the plant has produced. We can also see that we're a little below our current drawdown curve. So hopefully it doesn't go too much lower, then I don't know, city will have to discuss about our citizens' water usage, but hopefully we'll get rain soon since we're coming towards the end of summer. And I believe that is it for my part right now. Oh, we have one more. I forgot about this one. Sorry, I'm sorry. So this is another example of dashboard. This is our capital improvement program projects, I guess. So our public works has this map out where you can view different projects around the city, future projects, the budget that they have, and where the funding source comes from that. So, yeah.
And then we have our online surveys. So it's just a picture of one. Survey 123, we use, it's a very great tool that we use for creating surveys for our community. And one we have right now is our near miss survey, which all citizens can fill out if they have a near miss incident. And then you submit it to us, and then the traffic committee, advisory committee, they review the at the end of the year. And I think sometimes even semi-annually they meet up. So then we also have a pool survey that is currently up until October 1st, I believe. And so currently this is up and available for everyone to fill out one time. And this will all this information goes to the Parks Department. And then we have pickleball. So anyone's in here into pickleball and wants to give us some feedback about pickleball, this also goes to the Parks Department or Parks Division and submit that. And that is open until November 1st. And then we have our near miss results dashboard, which is right here. And so that first survey that you guys gave us, this kind of gives a different perspective on the near miss, and just an easy way to quickly look at it and get a different perspective besides just looking at a map. It gives us different types of statistics, like if it was a e-bicyclist or a motorist or a bicyclist. And then the wildlife reporter, so we showed you that earlier. Just quick couple of facts about it. It's been viewed over 20,500 times. There's 1,275 reports. When a report is made, it sends us notifications and also the Oregon Fish and Wildlife. And then just so everybody knows, the entries filter out after 30 days. So if you go back in 2 months, you're like, hey, where's my bear report that I sent? We didn't delete it. It just gets filtered out and it's still there. So all your data is great data and we want to keep it. And then we're just gonna lead into story maps. And this is a pretty exciting thing. I've worked on one recently, and so we're gonna go over that one. We're the public art collection. So quickly, story maps are an interactive storytelling application that combines images, videos, and maps within an engaging narrative. And so we redid this. We upgraded the last one, and it looks very, very similar. Just has a few more functions. And then we have some instructions on if you're trying to do it on your phone and trying to follow along with it on your phone. Here's some instructions. These will not work on your desktop. And then, so as you can see, it kind of zooms in to each, and it kind of has, it's numbered. Depending on, I kind of went with what makes sense and trying to follow along, trying to walk around downtown. And then you can also zoom out right here. Like if you want to look at all of them throughout town, and then you're like, I want to go over here, and then it'll zoom you back in. Also, if you just want to see utility boxes, there's a tab up here that'll take you to utility boxes. You can learn about the committee, and then credits, photographer credits are over here. That's one of them. And then we have 3 others I can briefly go over. The ABCs of Forest Ecology is the one Leah worked on, and I believe she got an award for, and it's also in Spanish. So if you need the Spanish version, that's also on the page I'll show you in a minute. Or you can click on there and put you in Spanish. And this is just a beautiful story map that gives you a guide around a 1-mile trail up toward Todd Ordson Trail. And we just updated that map right there too. So that's something we did recently. And then there's the 10 years of working together. Let's restore, there it is. Ashland Forest Resiliency. And this is a really cool story map. I definitely recommend people going and checking this one out too. They did really good work on this one. And it just tells about their plans and about the watershed. So that's great information in there. And then next is about the new website. And then I'm hoping everyone's checked out our new website. But to get there, I'm going to show you briefly. So if you go to our main page, and this is the front page, and you want to go to any of those story maps that you saw, or you want to check out some web apps, you just click on the maps right here. And then here's the water usage that we talked about, the wildlife reporter, downtown parking. If you still are having problems figuring out where to park, know your zone. And then here is all the story maps we were talking about. And there's even a few more than what I just went over. Or if you want to vote, I think the nominating for Tree of the Year is in here too when it's up, nominations are up. And then there's also, let's say, Parks and Rec has a lot of apps. You can go and click on their department, and there's just a lot on here, and I highly encourage everyone checking it out and seeing what we made for you.
So we've got a drone for the last year and a half now, and we're working on getting that project off the ground. We have we use our drone mostly on city property, pretty much always within city property. We use it for inspecting our electrical lines or transformers to see if they're hot or too hot, or if there's something wrong. We fly over. We have an example of the water treatment plant. Oh, sorry, the wastewater treatment plant, where we flew over and made a 3D model where you can pan around and kind of look at the buildings in a 3D view. We've flown our dam up at Rita Reservoir. We can use that to inspect and see if there are any issues within the face of the dam, any cracking or leaks or anything. We just did a project at the Nature Center, taking a picture of the little pavers they have and stitching that imagery together, so that people can go look up where their paver is located at. We're very excited to use this new technology and drones to create more accurate and up-to-date maps. Yes, I think that's all I have about drones. Well, we've talked about our asset management, dashboards, online surveys, story maps, our new GIS website, our drones, and all we have left is our current projects. We're working on using that same survey 123 that you guys use in the public for our ambulances. They have to do reporting, and so we are creating a checklist for them now so that they can every day, every month, every week complete the checklist, and then they can create a report to send out to regulatory bodies. We have evacuation maps. We're always updating that. We just had a new round of updates and ideas come from that last fire that was just south of town. We're running a CWPP update at the current moment. So we're using a drone. We had an outside contractor, but we're using all that information from the drone to look for hazards within the city limits, so that we can create individual parcel scores for everyone, so they can decide, hey, maybe I need to work on my property to make sure that I'm not at a higher fire risk. And then we're as a GIS department, we're working on C-Click Fix as well, and that's coming out soon. So I believe that is it for our presentation. So if Sabrina wants to
Yeah.
jump in.
All right, thank you guys.